Imagine a poor boy in a tiny village who labors in the fields for 17 hours every single day just to get one simple meal. Now picture that same boy growing up to own a car company worth lakhs of crores. This is the journey of the founder of Hyundai, Chung Ju-Yung. Chung Ju-Yung was born in 1915 in a small village in Korea. He dreamed of becoming a school teacher, but his family was extremely poor, so he couldn't continue his education. As a child, he worked in the fields alongside his family. Even after such exhausting labor, there were days when they couldn't properly feed themselves, let alone afford decent clothes or medical treatment. Chung had to travel to a nearby town to sell firewood. There, he noticed that people had enough food and clothing without struggling in the fields all day. Seeing this made him deeply upset and frustrated. He longed for a better future. One day, he read in a newspaper that a large construction site in a nearby city required workers. This news inspired him. In 1932, at just 16 years old, Chung made a bold choice. He would run away to the city. One night, he quietly left with a friend. After walking nearly 160 kilometers, he reached Kawan City and began working as a construction worker. The job was tough and the pay was very low, but for the first time in his life, he was earning on his own, and that made him happy. Things continued like this for about 2 months until his father found him and brought him back to farming. His family was glad, but Chung wasn't. Those 2 months had sparked his interest in construction and engineering. He also realized he could never escape poverty by farming alone. He attempted to run away 2 more times, but each time his father tracked him down. Finally, in 1934, at 18 years old, he made his 4th attempt, and this time no one stopped him. He arrived in Seoul, now the capital of South Korea. He took whatever jobs he could find, first as a construction worker, then in a factory, and eventually as a delivery boy at Bokyong Rice Store. Both customers and the owner admired his dedication. Within 6 months, he was promoted to store manager. Chung worked tirelessly to expand the shop. In 1937, the owner fell seriously ill and made an unexpected decision. Impressed with Chung's commitment, he handed the store over to Chung. At just 22, Chung became a business owner after starting as an employee. For the next 2 years, he worked even harder, building trust and a solid reputation in the market. Everything seemed smooth until disaster struck. It was the period of World War II, and Korea was under Japanese rule. Japan needed a steady rice supply for its army and took control of all rice shops, including Chung's. Overnight, his efforts were wiped out. Chung was heartbroken but refused to surrender. He believed, if I sincerely give my heart and soul to any work, I will surely succeed. With that mindset, he searched for a business beyond Japanese control and soon focused on automobile repair. In 1940, he borrowed 3,000 won and opened an Anoto service garage. Unfortunately, just 1 month later, the garage burned down, reducing everything to ashes. He now had to repay his loan and compensate customers. Most people would have quit, but Chung confronted the challenge directly. He borrowed another 3,500 won and built a better garage. He identified that customers' biggest issue was the long waiting time for repairs, so he made speed his priority. While competitors took 20 days, Chung completed similar work in just 5 days. The garage became highly successful. Within 3 years, by 1943, his team expanded to 80 workers. he cleared his debts and brought his family to Seoul. But then, again, misfortune hit. Japan required facilities to produce war equipment and seized his garage, merging it with a steel plant. Once again, he lost everything and returned to his village. However, this time, he had saved 50,000 won and confidence. After World War II ended, Japan left Korea. The country was divided into North and South. In 1946, Chung returned to Seoul and reopened his auto repair business, now named Hyundai Auto Service. Hyundai means modern. Business improved, and he noticed America was constructing facilities for its military forces. He saw an opportunity in construction. Despite limited experience, his old passion pushed him forward. In 1947, at 32, he founded Hyundai Civil Works Company. He started with small projects, but by the early 1950s, Hyundai was handling major construction contracts. Then, in 1950, North Korea attacked South Korea. As Seoul was threatened, Chung escaped to Busan with his savings. Even during war, he didn't quit. The U.S. Army needed tents, warehouses, and headquarters. Chung realized Americans valued reliability and timely completion. He adopted a can-do attitude. If the price was fair, he accepted the project. Despite war challenges and losses, he never abandoned a project midway. This reliability built strong ties with the Americans. After the war, he continued receiving contracts. As South Korea rebuilt, the government launched massive infrastructure projects. Hyundai constructed key landmarks like the Soyang Dam and the Gyeongbu Expressway. The company grew rapidly. By the 1960s, in his early 50s, Hyundai owned a thriving construction firm, but he wasn't satisfied. After building thousands of kilometers of roads, he decided to build cars for those roads. In 1967, he founded Hyundai Motor Company. A year later, he partnered with Ford Motor Company to assemble Cortina cars. After 2 years, disagreements arose. Ford didn't want Hyundai producing its own cars, so in 1973, Chung ended the partnership. He approached General Motors and Volkswagen for technology, but both declined. Finally, he partnered with Mitsubishi Motors, which agreed to share technology and allow Hyundai to sell its own cars. Around that time, the South Korean government encouraged automakers to build an affordable domestic car using local parts. In 1976, Hyundai launched the Hyundai Pony, the country's first mass-produced car. It captured 60% of the domestic market. However, South Korea's total market was only 30,000 cars annually, too small for strong profits. Overseas, the Pony struggled due to quality issues like fading paint and mechanical faults. Hyundai Motor faced losses for 7 years. People advised Hyundai to shut the company. Instead, he shocked everyone by planning a new factory, producing 300,000 cars per year. Management questioned who would buy so many cars in a 30,000 car market. Hyundai believed South Korea's economy was expanding rapidly, and car demand would soon rise. Plus, the new models targeted exports. The factory was built in 1980. In 1982, Hyundai launched the Hyundai Pony 2, successfully exporting to Africa, Latin America, and Canada. Within years, Hyundai sold 400,000 cars and became a profitable company. It was now a respected global car maker. That year, at 72, Chung retired as honorary chairman, leaving leadership to his family. Today, Hyundai is among the world's top car companies. In 2022 alone, it sold around 4 million vehicles. Beyond cars, Hyundai Group includes 42 companies,
like Hyundai Elevator, Hyundai Information Technology, and Hyundai Heavy Industries, the world's largest shipbuilding company. For South Korea, Hyundai is more than a corporation. It helped rebuild the nation, generated thousands of jobs, and earned global respect. And it all began with a village boy who lacked basic necessities but possessed immense passion, vision, and the determination to improve his life.